American Graffiti was really my first attempt at doing something um, uh, mainstream, so to speak. And even it was one, it was in a genre that was looked down upon, but I loved when I was a kid. It was about my life as I grew up, so I cared about it a lot. And then on top of it, it was in a style that was different from what everybody was used to. It was intercutting four stories that didn't relate to each other, which nobody really done before. Now it's sort of the standard fare for television. And it had music all the way through it, not just score, but actual um, songs from the period, and that is something that nobody done before. And they just sort of described it as a musical montage with no characters and no story. And so it's very, very hard to get that off the ground. And on top of that, it was a B movie. I almost got it set up at American International Pictures, where they liked doing those kinds of movies, but it was too strange for them in terms of the style. And Star Wars was kind of the same situation, where it was a genre they weren't that interested in. Science fiction was not something that did well at the box office. It dealt with robots and Wookiees and things that generally most people, they couldn't read it and say, I understand what this is all about. They just were completely confused by it. And really on top of that, it was aimed at being a film for young people. And most of the studios said, look, that's Disney does that. The rest of us can't do that. So we don't want to get in that area. So I had so many strikes against me when I did that. I was lucky that I found a studio executive that just believed in me as a filmmaker and just disregarded the material itself.